Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're doing something really cool. We are tracing the thrilling, completely invisible life cycle of a single email as it travels across the globe. I mean, we use it every single day, right? Practically on autopilot. You type, you click send, and you just move on without a second thought. But the actual journey your message takes after it leaves your screen, it is a hidden logistical marvel. So let's break it down. Seriously, think about it. You hit send on a message from your Gmail to a coworker's Outlook, and boom, it lands almost instantly. It feels like absolute magic, doesn't it? But underneath that incredibly seamless interface is this chaotic, highly orchestrated mechanical relay working literally at the speed of light. Today, we're demystifying exactly how that happens, step by step. Okay, let's dive into this mind-blowing metric. An email's full round trip, even when it's traveling internationally across oceans and continents, typically takes under 500 milliseconds of actual transit time. Yes, you heard that right. That is less than half a single second to cross the planet, navigate crazy complex physical networks, pass military-grade security, and arrive perfectly formatted on someone else's screen. It's wild. To wrap our heads around this, think of today's outline as our digital flight itinerary. We're going to cover 1. The half-second magic, 2. Finding the destination, 3. The invisible relay journey, 4. Spam guards and security, and finally, 5. Arriving in the inbox. Section 1. The half-second magic. Understanding the origins and anatomy of a digital letter. Before we track its movement, we really need to understand what our digital hero actually is and where it came from. Now, here's a fun fact. This lightning-fast modern tech is surprisingly old. It was actually invented way back in 1971. The creator, Ray Tomlinson, just needed a way to route messages between different computers. And you know what he did? He specifically chose the @ symbol to separate the specific user from the host network they were on. It was just a simple, elegant choice of a single character. But man, it permanently changed human communication. Simply put, your email is basically just a highly structured digital letter waiting to be processed by the mailroom. It's completely defined by two main parts. First, you've got a header, which contains the crucial routing info, the to, from, and subject lines. And second, you have the body. That body holds your actual message, whether it's just basic, old-school plain text or complex HTML packed with fonts, colors, and images. Moving right along to Section 2, finding the destination, leaving the outbox and getting directions. Let's see how this builds when your newly created email tries to figure out exactly where on earth it needs to go. So the crucial thing here is that to get moving, your email client uses a universal language called SMTP, or Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. Think of this as the strict rulebook used to hand off your message to your local outbound server. It's exactly like handing a physical envelope to the clerk at your local post office. The clerk doesn't actually drive it to the destination themselves, right? They just need to know exactly how to intake it, stamp it, and put it on the correct conveyor belt. But here's the catch. That post office needs an exact physical location. Just like you'd flip through a phone book to find the number for a local business, your mail server does what's called a DNS lookup. It queries the domain name system, translating a human-friendly domain name, like Outlook.com, into a string of numbers. That string of numbers is the exact IP address for the recipient's server. Boom, now it has its digital GPS coordinates. Up next, Section 3, the invisible relay journey, hopping across global servers. Now that our email has an address, it kicks off its physical journey across the internet's vast postal sorting system. And listen, an email rarely goes in a straight line. First, your outbound server routes the message. Second, it hops across multiple intermediate relay servers, literally bouncing through data centers and enormous fiber optic cables spanning around the world. Third, the recipient server finally receives it. And lastly, it queues or delivers the message to its final local destination. Now, you might be wondering, what happens if something goes wrong along the way? Well, these servers run 24/7. So if there's a temporary roadblock, say an email bounces because of a full inbox or some localized server outage, the system won't just toss your message in the trash. Instead, it patiently queues the message and will actively retry sending it for up to 5 whole days before finally throwing in the towel and returning it to you. However, it is absolutely vital to remember this one fact. Once an email successfully leaves your server, you have zero control over it. None. Just like dropping a physical letter into one of those blue mailboxes on the corner of the street, you can never truly unsend it once it departs. It's completely out of your hands and entirely in the network's custody. Which brings us to Section 4, Spam Guards and Security. the Digital Border Patrol and armored trucks. So, our email has reached the destination server. But wait, before it can ever enter that coveted inbox, it's got to pass through some heavy, uncompromising security. Every single incoming email is strictly evaluated by complex spam filters. These filters score the message based on suspicious patterns in the body text, the historical reputation of your specific server, meaning like do you have a history of sending junk, and various other known threat signals. They essentially act as the bouncer, making sure absolutely no malicious content makes it through the door. So, how do they actually know what to check? Well, these digital security guards inspect the hidden metadata attached to your email. You never actually see this on your screen, but the email header is absolutely packed with technical forensic information. The filters examine the exact timestamps, trace that trail of previous server hops we just talked about, and review internal spam scores layered deep inside. And speaking of authentication, the system checks 3 critical protocols: SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. Think of SPF as checking your ID against an approved guest list. DKIM, that's kind of like a cryptographic wax seal, ensuring the message wasn't tampered with in transit. And DMARC is the big, overarching policy that tells the server what to do if those first 2 fail. So if a phishing email tries to impersonate your bank, it's going to fail these checks and get blocked immediately. No way it's getting through. Of course, security also applies during the journey itself. While your email travels, it's essentially riding in a secure armored truck using TLS, or Transport Layer Security Encryption. This shields it from any potential eavesdroppers. But, and this is a really important caveat, while it's protected in transit, it might actually be sitting fully exposed and unencrypted once it arrives and is just resting inside the final server facility. Finally, Section 5, arriving in the inbox, the final handoff to the recipient. Okay, we've survived the global relay and passed the rigorous border security, which brings us to the very last hurdle, actually reading the message. The recipient's device has to fetch the email from that server, usually using one of 2 primary methods. First, there's IMAP, the modern standard. It acts sort of like a window, leaving a master copy on the server so it can effortlessly sync your read status across your phone, your tablet, and your laptop. Then there's the older POP3 method, which pulls the email down completely to one single device and just deletes the original from the server entirely. You know, it's often said that every technology you use every day has a fascinating story behind it. And it's so true. The incredibly mundane act of clicking send hides a massive global relay of rules, protocols, spam security checks, and lightning-fast routing that we just completely take for granted. So the next time your seemingly simple text message or file attachment lands on the exact opposite side of the world in under half a second, maybe take just a moment to appreciate the incredible, invisible postal system working tirelessly behind your screen. It really begs the question, what other invisible digital journeys are happening around us every single day? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. And as always, keep your curiosity